Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous Ask Engineer, where we talk about engineering and we answer your questions. I'm Lady Ada. I am the engineer. With me is AdaBot.
Hello.
Who's on camera control. It's just us two.
Yeah.
And of course, the love and we have for open source hardware, which is the third person here.
Yeah. Becky's on special assignment.
Becky's on special assignment, and
but she's in the chat room.
That's cool. And Amanda the Wozniak's not here, but hopefully we'll have her in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We're broadcasting live from downtown Manhattan at the secret Adafruit headquarters.
That's right.
All sorts of exciting stuff happens there. They're building up the One World Trade Center. It's almost, I think they reached the top.
Almost glassed up. If you follow Becky's tweet, she Instagrammed a photo right outside here.
Yeah, you can actually see it. I didn't think you can see it, right? Can't you see it? Or is it the hotel?
I think Kay Townsend has. Kevin Townsend.
Oh, yeah.
Kay Okay, we should get this thing started.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to show on the show today.
On tonight's show, we will tell you how to vote for Lady Ada for Entrepreneur of the Year without a Facebook account. We will talk about the show and tell. Had some awesome show and tells just a few moments ago. We will talk about Maker Camp. Lady Ada did a fun Maker Camp session. We will talk about Arduinos talking. Speaking tweets. If tweets could talk, what would they sound like?
Tweet.
The Mailbag, where we read your letters. What's in Adam Kemp's backpack? Return to the Learn companies, hardware companies.
That's your soapbox article for Make.
Teaching people. We'll have an update on Flora, some cool stuff that Becky was working on. Some stuff from Fritzing Friday with John Janier.
Is John Janier in the chat?
No, he's off on special assignment this weekend too. We have some Raspberry Pi news, an event that we're doing very soon, a big list of new tutorials in Adafruit Learning System. We'll have new products.
And some updated products.
We'll have some top secret.
Ooh.
We'll answer your questions. We'll have a trivia question. We'll have a cat, and watch this. Here it comes. Meow, meow, meow. All that and more on Ask an Engineer. Okay.
Yeah, we have a cat.
We're going to do it.
He's primping in the green room right now.
Okay. We got to start showing a little bit of a sad note. Let's get out of the way right away, though. Sad news in the world of electronics.
Hans, the inventor of the 555.
Yeah, Hans...
everyone who does electronics uses 555s.
He's gone to the big circuit board in the sky.
Camenzind.
So two big things with him. First Class D amplifier and the 555.
He did the Class D amp and the 555 and introduced phase lock loops into integrated circuit design.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's all you have to do.
You know, the interesting thing is his work will live on for a really long time. I mean, that's what the goal is.
Yeah.
So many projects fueled by this. There's that big contest, the 555 timer contest.
Yep.
I'm gonna see what I can do on our site. John Janier posted that up. I mean, maybe we'll have a day of remembering, and we'll have a bunch of 555 timer posts or something. I don't know, but you know, it's a loss. It's a shame.
There were so many people.
Did great work.
There's so many people who did so much good analog engineering in the 60s and 70s, and yeah, a lot of them are in retirement or you know, passing on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so appreciate these people still around. I mean, they did all the cool stuff and brought all these, like, inventing op amps and stuff. I mean, that's so awesome. And inventing the 555 and the Class D amp. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So anyways, our thoughts are with the family and, of course, everyone who had something to do with any of his work. When you do your next electronics project, you know, a person was behind that. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, somebody had to sit down and done the 555, and they had to do it with, and you know, they didn't have the processes they had now. Like, it's pretty amazing what they crammed and the capabilities of a very simple chip.
Yeah. Okay. So let's keep moving here. So we're gonna do the code, but let me explain the code.
Okay.
For tonight. Yeah, the code tonight, and I'll post it in the chat, is 1701162223333. There's a reason for this. So Lady Ada, our Lady Ada. Here at Adafruit.
The engineer.
You were nominated for, out of like hundreds of people, for Entrepreneur of the Year.
Okay, for the magazine.
For the magazine. You're one of 5 people, and there's two other categories. You're one of 15. You're the only female, only engineer, and it's all about what you've done.
And the only person who does open source software hardware.
Yeah, that's true. And one of the things they decided to do was say vote. They want to know who is active in a community.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that you run a business, is you have a community. So they have a video of you on the site, and when they first launched this, the only way to vote was Facebook. Now
I don't even have a Facebook.
Yeah, here's one of the downsides, or an upside, I guess you can call it, of doing open source hardware. A lot of people who do electronics and open source hardware just don't care for Facebook.
Well, they don't have time.
Not only do they not have time, it's they're very aware of what's happened with Facebook in the past and the present and probably the future with the personal information issues, privacy issues, how it's being used, and basically on Facebook you are the product. So a lot of people just steer clear of it, and so they didn't want to vote. And a lot of our community emailed entrepreneur and said, I want to vote for Lady Ada. Is there anything else you can do? I don't know if it was because of the community feedback, but now you can text.
Do you have a Facebook account?
I deleted mine. So
you didn't vote for me. No.
Yeah. You know what? And I'll just do my quick story.
Yeah.
People used to get really mad if I didn't friend back and do this stuff, but at Make
you have to water it.
I was in charge of like the Make blog, and all these people were constantly doing friend requests, all this stuff, and I just declared Facebook bankruptcy. So anyways, life has been actually better because I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I think the account is deleted, or maybe I have to like do the final delete.
There's delete,
anyways.
delete, and there's undelete. Anyways, but now you can vote with an SMS.
Yeah.
And most people have cell phones. I don't even have a cell phone or a Facebook, so I can't vote. You have to vote for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
viewers.
I'm gonna put the code in the chat here.
Kind viewers, because I only have a cell phone jammer and a Twitter account, which I don't even use.
So here's the thing. This is the code I just posted up in chat. So the discount code for tonight, 10% off many things, is this. So if you use the discount code, you already have it ready to go. Just by the way, when you SMS, when you text to this, the company automatically says, we don't store your information, we'll never spam you. Before we posted up about this on the site, we verified that, because that's important to us too, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of avoiding Facebook.
They respond and they say, you placed your vote, and we will never spam you or use your phone number or anything.
So if you've ever read a tutorial from Lady Ada, if you've ever learned something, if you've enjoyed the show, they want to see community behind all these companies, and that's one of the things. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait 10 seconds.
Okay, let's just wait.
I'll keep track of the time.
Everybody,
take out your phone.
Take your phone
and just
then type
text
in
it.
1,
So
7.
No, don't read numbers while people are doing stuff. That's confusing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
We're just gonna have just a couple seconds here.
Can I shoot them?
They call dead air in the biz. All right, moving on.
Can I speak now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we had an awesome show and tell.
Yeah, we had a lot of people on the show and tell.
Yeah.
We started out with Josh, who had blinky LED light sticks. He used their analog LED strips, and he hooked them up to a Boardrino and put them in this wooden craft box. And then he made these 5 light sticks, and they were like...
Used the Perma Proto and the Boardrino? Yeah.
But you think of using a Mentef in the future. It's actually smart, because that way you just put it in a tin, you're done. But it's like these light sticks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next up, Jerry dialed in from Hawaii. He had an awesome project. It was a
passion fruit battery.
It was a passion fruit battery that shot a laser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had 6 batteries, and I guess each one gives you a forward voltage about 0.5 volts or something, and then I guess it gives you about 3.3 volts, and you can shoot a laser.
And then George Grizz, our video editor and producer, who's behind the scenes here, in the chat, George had these cool things he got from eBay. The
little 10 clicker thingies. Yeah, those are cool. I want to check those out.
Yeah, and so he started to interface with those.
Okay.
And do cool stuff. And then Rick showed his radio for Arduino Shield, and then he said, well, now I just got a Raspberry Pi, so he's adapted it to that, plugged it in via USB. And he said that the fact that he was doing this and he was on the show and tell, Newark Element 14 had contacted him and they placed an order for 100. So he said, hey, thanks for doing all this stuff.
He had to make 100 of those little briquettes and 100 shields.
Maker business. Yeah, and a quick little side story. Tyler Cooper showed his project on the show and tell. Bros from the GPS project. Tyler and Justin work on our learning site. So the show and tell is an economic powerhouse.
Yeah.
It's working out. get a job, sell products. Like, this is intense. And then another George dialed in, and he had his ping pong wall of death. It was this beautiful ping pong wall with LEDs. No microphone.
But that's okay, because there's LEDs. You can see them. They're blinking. They're doing plasma things and sparkly things.
So one other thing is, if you're on the show and tell, or ever was on the show and tell, we finally got these really cool stickers in. This is the As Seen on the Show and Tell.
Yeah, these are beautiful.
Yeah, you can send a note to support@adafruit.com. We'll try to get to you if you've been on the show and tell in the past. If there's orders that you place, we can toss one in. We're doing this with the honor system. No one's ever lied to us or tried to do anything bad because we have an awesome community. Yes. So I'm not too worried about it. But
you get a sticker.
Yeah, you get a As Seen on Adafruit show and tell. Right. Lady Ada, tell people how to be on the show and tell.
Being on the show and tell is super easy. All you have to do is go to Google Plus. You have to have a Google Plus account, and go to my personal Google Plus account. That's the Lamore Freed Lady Ada account. And once a week before the show and tell, I say, post here, so I can add you to the show and tell circle. Post there and just say, I want to show a project. We will add you, and then once you're added, you can show a project any week that you want. And you'll just, when you log into Google Plus at 9:30 on Saturday Eastern Time, you will see a little thing pop up, and then you can join in. You can show up as many times as you want and show off your cool project. That's how you do it.
Okay. All right, next up, you were on Maker Camp.
Yes.
Let me explain what this is.
This is an awesome Make magazine plus Google Hangout combo pack.
And you were on week 5, and there was Maker Monday, Tinkering Tuesday, Weird Science Wednesday. You were Theoretical Thursday, and then on Friday they went to CERN.
Yes, cool.
You did this neat chat. It's on the Make magazine page.
You can watch it.
It was recorded
to YouTube, just like the show and tells are.
So you did something interesting. You spent the first half like the theory of how electronics work, and then you talked about like making code manipulate that.
Yeah.
So do you want to briefly discuss what you did?
It was a little tough because it was like, okay, you have to like make a project that's easy enough for people to build using like stuff they can find at home, but also it has to be really theoretical. And they wanted me to explain all of electronics and computer science, which was a bit of a struggle in 45 minutes. So I tried to explain like what voltage is, because I think that is one of the things that hangs up a lot of people, because they're like, well, I don't know what a volt is, and so like I don't understand one of these most basic concepts of electronics, and even I sometimes struggle a little bit with like the really deep theoretical stuff with electronics. So I tried to talk about it in terms of like air pressure and wind and electron pressure, which is kind of what voltage is. And then I talked about LEDs and solar panels. I talked about diodes. And then I ended up talking about motors a little bit, and how motors are also generators. And then I talked about how you can program LEDs with something like an Arduino, and I made a little POV project. And then I showed off Phil Burgess's excellent light painting tutorial that we have concepts. I think that I did kind of an okay job at explaining them, which is difficult because, it's... the simpler something is, the harder it is to explain it, right?
No, it's true. And I really liked your analogies of pinwheels and how you kind of blew some minds on how you showed an LED could get light in and do stuff. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to...
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, I liked it. I had a front row seat there. So anyways, if you go to Make's Google Plus, or if you just go to Makezine and look at their camp section, you'll see the past videos.
Great.
Next up, really cool project that was posted on the site this week. Dan, who does some cool how-tos with us, posted up making an Arduino talk based on the tweets it was getting. So we have a little video, and we'll show it.
Okay, great.
You'll actually hear it.
Oh.
Mark Dandelion tweeted, "Do life on Mars with David Bowie. It would be great timing #curiosity. Tessa Febroni tweeted, "I want to go to Mars and hang out with #curiosity #Yaugisuk." Staniels tweeted, RT@_Raylo: I go home very proud after knowing about the NASA Curiosity.
So you get the point. Can you talk about what that particular little board was?
So this is featuring an Arduino, which is what is kind of controlling all this stuff and doing the I think the tweet grabbing, I guess, would be the word. And then it's connected to this EMIC text-to-speech chip. I need a text-to-speech chip, maybe. It's hard to say text-to-speech.
Yeah, they could have picked something else.
It's TTS.
Siri!
Yeah, they picked this chip, the EMIC chip, and Joe Grand, Adafruit best friend. Well, we should have him on the show sometime.
Yeah, he's never in New York.
He's never in New York though. He lives in sunny California. So he designs stuff for Parallax, and he designed the original text-to-speech module, I think, and then this is his second rev. And this chip is actually really powerful. The cool thing about this chip is that it can grab text, and you don't have to have it in phoneme base, which is kind of like a lot of people when they end up doing text-to-speech stuff, they realize very quickly that a lot of the very basic speech chips, you have to send them the data in like phonemes, and so you can't just like type out a word. You have to know exactly how to type it in a very special, weird way to get the sounds to sound right, because English is one of those languages that words aren't pronounced as easily as they're written. This is like in contrast to like Japanese, which is like the words are kind of pronounced exactly how they're written. Just kind of a nice thing about that language, but not so much with English. But this chip actually has an engine inside that will take just raw text.
Yeah.
And it actually it must have just like a massive ROM or something, or it has like a really good rule set, and it can actually take written English text and also Spanish, I believe, and it has like 6 voices, so you can do it in male, female, and then like different accents, and it will speak that text. So this is a really handy chip. It's a little expensive, but it kind of does it all.
Okay. Thank you. That was a good explanation. All right. Mailbag. There's Packet. Oh, Mailbag guy.
Packet,
yeah.
The Mailbag guy.
Yeah, we'll get jingles for each one of these.
Yeah,
so, Mailbag.
Okay,
I'm going to read this real quick. This came in from Peter. Peter says, I don't want to get all squishy, but I was profoundly touched by your site and work. We've ended up in a world where things have become so complex and ubiquitous and cheap that nobody seems to make anything anymore. This is convenient and now allows us to live fast and maximize our lives. Bucket list, but unfortunately it denies us the very profound pleasure of actually making something from scratch that works. I'll be coming back from time to time to check things out. Take care and keep up the good work, and I mean that in a spiritual craftsperson-like way.
Okay.
It is cool. There is something different about making something than buying something.
Yeah.
It's different. You have the object now has something inside of it that isn't a part, isn't a physical thing.
It has part of you in it.
It has memories inside your head, so it's connected to you. Think about that. All right.
You're in it, and it's in you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Squishy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we have a couple.
Adabot.
Yeah, we have a couple new badges in the requirements doc. Adam Kemp is our
educator,
real live school teacher that is teaching.
We captured him in the wild.
No, he's a free range school teacher that's out in the wild, and he teaches kids modern electronics, things like Arduino. And programming. So he has a robotics requirements document.
Okay.
If you teach people, kids, anybody with this, and you want to award them the badge, this is a requirements document. He also has a microcontroller one, which is really good. Those are all in the Adafruit Academy, our growing library of requirements docs for educators who want to say, okay, kids, we're going to go over 3D printing, and here's all the things you need to do to be proficient in 3D printing. Now, 3D printing is one of the few where you do get something when you're good at it. In the end, you get something 3D printed, but some things you don't, like laser safety. What do you get? Well, you get unharmed.
Yeah.
You know, like you're perfectly fine. You get to keep all your fingers and toes maybe on like our water jet, example. So anyways, it's a cool little section, and we'll be doing more with that later. Adam also had a really cool post about what's in his backpack, and he has a lot of cool stuff. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And
a lot of electronics.
Yeah, when he posted it up, he said, okay, what do you have in your backpack? And look at the comments on the blog. A lot of people say, here's what I carry in my bag, here's what I carry in my bag. What do you carry in your bag that has something to do with electronics?
I have my awesome pocket multimeter, the one that we spec'd.
Yeah.
It's a hard case multimeter, but it does like everything. It does current measurement, voltage measurement, diode, continuity.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I want to carry an oscilloscope. I don't use an oscilloscope as much, but a pocket multimeter is pretty handy.
Yeah.
And then I have the bento box that was designed for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted a way to carry Arduino projects around, and so she designed the bento. It's not quite purse size,
Yeah.
but it is backpack sized.
I think for some future show and tells, one of the things I want to do is have you encourage people to show you their workbenches, what's in their bags, and then depending so we have the Adafruit Flickr poll. Depending on like how Yahoo kind of turns the company around, because Marissa Mayer is now in charge.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see Flickr kind of return to when it was like the best place, that everyone was sharing everything, because it's so, you can have groups and all that. It'll be interesting to see if Instagram ever adds those features where we can have a group of people to just share their workbenches or their electronics that they carry in their backpacks, all that cool stuff. So anyways, speaking of learning, I write these monthly articles on Make called Soapbox, and usually they try to stir up some good debate in the community.
Yeah, usually they're a little contentious.
Yeah,
contentious?
no, it isn't. It's just they'll be
yeah, they're usually very opinionated.
Yeah, it's an opinion piece on Make, and usually they're pretty provocative. So a long time ago, I was like, the Arduino won. It's here to stay, and here's why. And people freaked out because they're like, yeah. And so what I try to do is have really neat articles that make people think, and they almost predict the future.
Yeah.
That's one of my beats.
This one I really like because after we done the learning system, because I needed a tutorial system.
Yeah.
So like you're like, okay, I'm gonna hire someone to help.
I will find the best people to make the best tutorial system for number one customer, you.
And we all worked together for months, and we built this awesome learning system, and we're working on it constantly.
Learn.adafruit.com.
And the reason we did that is because we had actually tried every other tutorial system out there. We tried Make Projects. And
I'm going to go through the list.
No, sorry, no, we tried all these things that we were showing, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
I'm so picky.
Yeah.
I'm like the pickiest
tutorialer. You're picky.
And so there's all these little things I always wanted. But we don't all have the I mean, I don't have all the things that Make Projects has or iFixit. So like there's things to choose from these different. Some of them have the customer, like anyone can come in.
Yeah.
And some are for the company only. So there's
when you build a giant software project, most often it's more important what you choose not to add. And so there's some things that we chose not to add, but there's things that no one else has. So anyways, so my article is basically every electronic company, every hardware company will have to teach. You just can't sell physical bits because that's a commodity. You have to actually do more. So what I did is I picked out good examples that I really liked that's in the world of makers.
Yeah.
And then I talk about some future predicting stuff. Like one of my past articles was libraries are going to turn into maker spaces, hacker spaces, and that's happening. This one is every company that sells you physical goods will have to teach you how to use them one day.
Yeah.
So a real quick tour here. The Arduino site. Arduino site it was built on its wiki with all the stuff that you can do.
The playground is a wiki, and then there's also built-in.
Next up, learn.adafruit.com. People are calling it the Pinterest of learning. They really like it because we have these little boxes on it. Next up, Digi's, they do examples.
WordPress.
Yeah, examples.digi.com. And Adafruit is learn.adafruit.com. There's a theme, by the way, with all this. But anyways, Rob Faluti, who wrote a book, big active guy in the XBee community. Digi did a super smart thing. Hired him. He has a Tumblr that has all the great XBee projects. Matt Richardson from Make does amazing work with it. Really cool site. I have to say, I think XBee stuff is kind of hard to use, but it's gotten a lot easier since Rob has been there educating people.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, like I'm more interested in it now. Next up, DIY drones, also based on wikis, but lots of documentation that goes along with the hardware. Evil Mad Scientists, they do all sorts of documentation, but I just like the fact that they also do comic book style documentation with their things.
Nice.
That takes it a step further. Imagine if every comic book, so every giant movie is based on a comic book. Imagine like all your hardware comes with a comic book. Ooh, that could be fun. iFixit, kind of one of the really big examples of using learning, and then they sell you the tools for taking apart your Mac or whatever. What a lot of people don't know is iFixit is built on this platform called Dazuki, and Dazuki runs Make Projects.
Yeah, which is why they look so similar.
Yeah, that's why they look similar, and there's all sorts of interesting things. And iFixit and Dazuki and, of course, Make Projects, anyone can publish their stuff in. And I left out Instructables and Builder, and I'll get to that in a second, because they don't sell hardware yet. But they're very good sites, by the way. I stuck to companies that sell hardware.
Oh yes, this was like companies that they did.
Yeah.
They had other things, and the tutorial system was part of the customer support and customer experience.
Yeah, this is if you sell hardware, then you're in this list. But I did include those other folks, builder and instructor.
And these are also like maker companies. I mean, there's other companies that have documentation.
Little Bits, great tutorials. Have tons of stuff. SparkFun tutorials. They have they actually have a similar thing. They have learn.sparkfun.com. This is a tutorial page on their Learn site. The tutorial section is coming soon. Of course, very interested in seeing that because we just built ours. I want to see what they're up to. Learn.sparklelabs.com.
Yeah.
This is our friends.
They do the DIY electronics.
Yeah, and
very introductory stuff.
Yeah, Ariel does fantastic Arduino classes, by the way, if you're ever in New York.
And great graphic design.
Yeah, they're beautiful. MakerBot, tons of documentation. They have to.
Yeah.
This is a 3D printer.
Complicated.
Right. Next up, learn.parallax.com, perhaps the best documentation company in the world. Parallax, almost everybody I know got their start looking at those books that had the nice binding, beautiful illustrations, everything. They are kind of the ones who set the standard that we all kind of, I think, still strive for. And now they have a new effort, learn.parallax.com, that has a lot of neat stuff. And Wayne & Lane, one of my favorite open source hardware companies, who they remind me of like the goal that we said, like, let's see more Adafruits out in the world. They're kind of like that. So anyways, that's the wrap up. Go check out the Make article. And it says, can you list the Learning Center webpage you just covered? Yeah, absolutely. If you go to the Camenzind blog and just
your article.
Yeah, just go to the article. It's
on Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah. You can just go for that, and someone will post it up in the chat.
Okay, great.
All right. Next up, some Flora updates. I gotta zoom through this stuff. Flora updates. One of the things that we are working on is our wearable platform called Flora. We're getting close to release. We're in beta. There's lots of stuff going on. We'll be able to now start showing some stuff. Becky's doing some awesome projects to like really work through it and make sure that we cover everything good. We have to get this right. There was new things that happened with Arduino and bootloaders. I'm glad we actually decided to wait because there's hardware that came out, the Leonardo. There's other stuff happening. We're getting closer and closer every week, and I wanted to show a preview. This is from Becky that she made. Okay, and can you just briefly explain? So that was obviously Smart Pixels, Flora Smart Pixels on Fabric.
Flora, which is basically now you could say it's a Leonardo-based, chip, the same kind of chip in the Arduino Leonardo, but it's sewable, and I actually designed it before the Leonardo came out at all, and before it was actually even like finished, using the 3284 chip, which I really, really like. And it's kind of designed to be really easy to use, but very low power, wearable computing system. And I specifically wanted it for doing large sewable pixel arrays because it's something that's really, really hard to do. And so I thought, like, well, I wanted to solve this problem because I really wanted to make like LED video jackets and stuff. And so one of the core things that we're going to release with the Flora is not only this controller board that's basically an Arduino compatible, but also these smart pixels. So so Becky had a 6x6 grid of 36 pixels, all controlled by chaining together and have one digital line to control all of them. So it's very easy for the Flora to control all these pixels and then also do sensors or GPS or an OLED or something. Unlike more basic wearable Arduino compatibles and other systems, you can have all the pixels chained together, so you're not like, oh, you can have one LED per pin, and then like you basically can have like 6 LEDs and you run out of pins. And so I designed it specifically for controlling large numbers of LEDs. So Becky's doing a lot of, she's doing like, oh, can you machine sew them in, or do you have to hand sew them? And
we have to see how threads expire. So we've actually had thread in use for 6 months, and wearable projects die because the thread stops working.
For low cost thread.
The thread that we have will not do that. But all important stuff. So anyways, we'll have lots of updates and things later, but we're really excited. Things are working out. Kevin K-Town has an awesome series of articles called the EE Bookshelf. And this week he posted up manufacturing process is for design professionals. It's
I
a
think
really
this is
cool
kind
book.
of like how, like, what can you do with stuff? Like, you know, how to, like, you know, how can you work with glass? How can you work with plastic? How can you work with wood? Like, what processes are there available for manufacturing? Like, for example, with electronics, if you do surface mount circuit boards, you can pick and place them, and then you reflow them, and then you can do double-sided boards, for example. But if you want to do through-hole, you have to use a wave soldering machine, and so if you want to mix surface mount and through-hole, you have to do it in a certain way to make sure that you can actually perform all these processes. So yeah, I guess this book, it has all sorts of design processes in it. I guess Kevin got interested in that, and he decided this book was a really good one, and he has really good taste in books. So
I'm gonna
if
ask,
you're interested in manufacturing, especially beyond just like circuit boards, but also in enclosures, machining, injection molding, all that stuff, this is a good book to pick up.
Apparently the book has examples of the product that came out from the process. Yeah, which is neat.
Like,
so,
like what happens when you injection mold? What does it look like when you're done? Or how does Delaware work differently than ABS? All these different materials and processes you can use with these materials.
So Kevin does these posts all the time, so everyone in the chat, tell him to keep it up. It's good work.
Yeah, K-Town.
Yeah. One real quick thing for makers, if you had to give someone one little piece of advice, if they're taking a kit and they're going to go and do assembled manufacturing of a kit version, what's like one of the first things they should think about?
Make sure you pick your enclosure first, especially if you're using something off the shelf, because the enclosure will dictate a lot of your design, and there's nothing worse than trying to pick an enclosure for a design. It's much, much easier to design something for the enclosure.
Very cool. Good advice, lady.
Thank you. I'm the engineer.
Yeah.
I'm here
All
on
right,
Saturday.
we had Fritzing Friday, John Janier, who's not here tonight. He
rocked out.
He went on a Fritzing rampage.
Rampage!
It's safe to say that. So he did a ton of Fritzing parts. You can download these from the Adafruit Fritzing library on GitHub.
Do you want me to list all these parts or no?
Can you just go super
really
fast? Yeah.
Okay, from left to right, we have the BMP-085 barometric pressure sensor. We have the Ultimate GPS, which we released last week. We have this awesome 3x4 keypad. We have the DHT11 low-cost humidity and temperature sensor. We have our TTL JPEG camera. People love it. We have the DHT11, which is a slightly higher precision humidity and temperature sensor. We have our PIR sensor, which I love. It has sensitivity adjustment. And then we have the wired version of the DHT11 called the AM2302.
Okay, next up.
Next up, we have some more breakout boards. We have our 3-axis analog accelerometer using the awesome ADXL335 Go analog devices. We have our Max 31855 thermocouple amplifier breakout board, and then we have our MCP4725 DAC. Then, not satisfied with his rampage, he rampaged on and did both the I2C and SPI mini monochrome OLEDs. And he got that like shiny thing because it's like the print on glass, the chip on glass stuff. He actually got that shiny effect that you get. It's cool. And next up, to finish off, he did an awesome job with our 16-channel 12-bit PWM driver board. And it's cool. He also made the 2.1 millimeter terminal blocks, so you can, wire it. You can show how the terminal blocks attach. And also, he busted all correctly. So, like the VCC line, you can see those green dots. It means it's connected all the way through. So he's like a Fritzing master.
Yeah. Generally speaking, which I like
Fritzing master.
Well, no. Generally speaking, I like to note. Everyone at Adafruit, no matter what they do, is very artistic, and I think it comes across in something like this. So John, he takes beautiful photos. I've seen his circuit boards; he does a really good job. And then when he did some Fritzing stuff, there's so much there's so much care and design that goes into
beautiful Fritzing. These are like the best looking Fritzing objects I've seen.
He really did a good job.
Anyways, they're awesome.
And he's not here tonight, so we can tell him this. So maybe he'll watch the recording. Anyways.
And you get like Phillips screws, and they're like slightly off because they're never quite right.
Yeah.
They're slightly off.
It looks real.
Yeah, it looks real.
All right, next. Someone wants to know, how can you design Fritzing parts? You have to use the...
Man, it's pain in the ass.
It's pretty tough. Yeah, you can use external programs.
We're going to have John write up a little bit how to like it's a really simple part, maybe have him document how to do it, because it's actually kind of hard.
Yeah. Okay. Next up there's a lot of Raspberry Pi stuff going on. So we have some Raspberry Pi news that's going on.
Okay.
We have this section here because we have to cover a lot of it.
Okay, there's a lot.
So first up,
New in the pie world.
Yeah, new in the pie world. We posted this up on Friday.
Yeah, this is an awesome. This is a really cool. It's not quite a data sheet. It's not quite a spec sheet. It's like a register map for the peripherals. So the when you get to like these really big chips, like the Broadcom chip that's using the Raspberry Pi, you know, like you have an Arduino, and there's some pins that are analog pins, and there's some pins that are PWM pins, and there's some pins, like all the pins are GPIO, and then some have special uses like the UART or the SPI. Well, when you get to these big chips, like they mux the pins like crazy. So like you can get to like a UART pin from like 16 different ways, and so you actually need to have a map to tell you what is available in all the GPIOs, and also the registers that you can twiddle in order to do that. And so we're using this because we're going to try to create some really awesome kernel modules that you can load in to take advantage of some of these peripherals that are maybe not in the default Raspberry Pi kernel. But it's really handy if you're wondering, like, you know, what peripherals can I get to? I mean, a lot of them are broken up, the HDMI and the DAC and NTSC and you know, the Ethernet. I guess it's the Mac, not the Phi, is all done for you. But there's still a couple things, you know, that like there's like flow control for the UART, which nobody really uses. But let's say you have to use it, it is available, so you could.
That's the hard part. People don't know what is actually possible right now, and this document wasn't widely circulated. That's why we're like, we should
this is
post
really cool. Apparently it was probably somewhere on the wiki, but we got pointed at it, and so we're posting it up.
Thanks, Frank. Frank pointed to us. I don't know if Frank's watching. Anyways, next up in Pine News, because we have to get through this. On September 19th at NYC Resistor, Adafruit will be there with Raspberry Pi. We have a special event that we're doing with them at NYC Resistor. They're doing a workshop. It's already sold out through Eventbrite. They invited us as special guests. We're going to come in with our Raspberry Pi light painting. Some of the Adafruit crew will be there. It's pretty neat. This is all part of the Raspberry Tour Hackerspace Tour. The Raspberry Pi Hackerspace. Raspberry Pi Foundation Hackerspace Tour. They're going to do East Coast, and I want to just note that there's a Pi front coming in on the coming in on the east.
It's from the Gulf Stream.
Yeah, it's going to go to a low pressure system, and it's going to pass through, and it's going to go down to Texas. So the East Coast is going to go right to Texas. This is a fast Pi storm.
Fast moving Pi.
And then the Pi's going to move off because there's this big Gulf Stream, as you said.
There's a Gulf Stream on the east side.
Yeah, this is
El Nino, but El Pi. Yo.
And this is a global Pi warming, so everyone knows.
And then what's it going to? Is it going to hit Japan? Is that where they're heading? Or
no, it's just going to go. No, it's going to.
It dies off into the Pacific.
Yeah, it's going to go back, and then it's going to go back to
England.
To England. So there it is. That's
into
the Pi
the
tour.
eye of the Pi.
That's the Pi tour. Check the raspberrypi.org to see the dates. We'll be there on the 19th. We're spending a lot of time in New York.
4 days in New York, though.
Yeah. Lots of people say, why are you guys in New York? And it's because everything comes here. So that's really cool. We like New York, and New York likes us. Next up, lots of updates on the Adafruit learning system. We got to move fast, by the way, later here. We got a lot of stuff.
Well, we had all the exciting stuff.
All the exciting stuff. Okay, Adafruit learning system. Learn.adafruit.com. We have awesome tutorials.
We have like 5 updates
every week. All right, first up.
We have the multimedia tutorial, which we added, and also we added a current tutorial on how to use the current measuring abilities of many of our most favoritist multimeters. So check that out, especially if you have a multimeter and you're like, how do I measure current without blowing my fuse?
Yeah. Next up, Becky showed an awesome way to make a sash for all of the cool badges that you're probably earning from all the skills that you're using from those requirement docs, or maybe you're part of a workshop, or maybe at school. And then look at this super cute picture. This cute kid, Liberty.
Liberty, that's her name?
Liberty.
That's so cool.
That's a cool name. All right. And let's move on to the next.
She has sparkle motion, you can tell.
Yeah. And let's move on to the tutorials that we released. These were more Pi tutorials.
I think actually the barometric pressure tutorial we did last time, but I'll mention again, we did put up a barometric pressure and temperature sensor tutorial using the Pi. It uses I2C. Maybe we did release it this week. I don't even remember anymore. It's crazy. The sensor is super easy to use. It uses I2C, and so it's perfect for the Pi. We wrote a lovely Python library that you can use, and it does all the nasty math for you and the bit casting. And we learned all about the low-level I2C stuff thanks to K-Town for delving deep into the SM bus grossness.
And speaking of Kevin, he did an awesome tutorial, and he took beautiful photos. Again, that artistic thing I was talking about. And
He also wrote a tutorial on how to use the 16-channel 12-bit PWM generator so you can control 16 LEDs or 16 servos, or a mix of the two. So that the cool thing about this is that there's no... Well, there's hardware PWM on the Pi, but unfortunately it's used for audio, so if you want to do robotics and maybe even make some sounds, unfortunately, you're going to have to use an external PWM generator, and this is the best one we found. It's awesome. It's I2C. It's self-running, so there's no clock required, and you can chain 16 or whatever, 50 of them together, something ridiculous. For a walking robot or a hexapod or whatever, you can do it. You just need to provide external power because the Pi can't provide power for it.
And then we have a short video, but when I imported the video, you can it's more like a stop motion.
The servo does move. It's just not moving very fast.
There's an issue with video going through Ustream right now. So anyways, let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah. And then secondly, we did a tutorial on driving a standard 16x2. You can also use a 20x4, but we demoed it with a 16x2 character LCD. And actually, I'll show it a little bit later. I have to.
Why don't you show it?
I'll start it up and then I'll show up in a couple minutes.
We're gonna get to that in a few minutes, hopefully.
So if you have a character LCD, character LCDs require 5 volts power, but luckily. You can, if you don't mind being a little bit slower than usual, which is okay because the Pi, it can't do high-speed GPIO anyways, you can write to the display only, and so you can use 3.3 voltage, level voltage to write data to the display, and so it works fantastically, and also we wrote a lovely little library for that. We'll do some example code. Yeah, we'll show the thing with the time. And it displays the IP address and the time, and also Mikey Sklar, who wrote the tutorial, also went a step further and showed how to add it to your RC init, so it starts up the display on boot. So if you want it to display something, you can have that occur on boot time. It's really nice. Okay, next up, we gotta keep rocking this. This is, I can't see what's going on here. Yeah, well, this is the DAC. Yeah, underneath here is the DAC, so this is another thing that is not available on the Pi is an analog output. So it has one PWM, but if you want to do just one analog output, this MCP 4725 is a really low cost. I think it's a 12-bit DAC. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, 12-bit DAC. It works great, and it'll give you 0 to 3.3 volts. It runs off of I2C. It's very easy, and of course we wrote the Python library for it, and it will generate a sine wave for you. Yeah. And the cool thing is, one thing that is a little annoying to me about the Arduino is how hard it is to install libraries. On the Arduino, you have to create this folder, and you have to download this thing, and you have to rename it, and you have to make sure it has the right thing. And they didn't make it very easy to add external libraries. But the really cool thing about the Pi is because it's you can just plug in Ethernet or a Wi-Fi module if you're using Occidentalist. To get all of our code, you just run git clone from our GitHub repo, and kabam, you have the latest code, a library code with all the examples, auto-magically appear on your Pi, and then you can always do a git update to grab the latest version. Yeah. You don't ever have to worry about copying, removing, renaming, drag and dropping. It's all super perfect. Libraries will get better with Arduino, I can tell you for a fact, because it not only has to happen, but everyone is going to make it happen. Yeah. Next up, we're gonna go into new product zone. Okay. We gotta get through it fast though. Yeah. New products. It's new product time. Yes. All right. First up, we have the Pi dish. Yes. That we launched, and can I show it on the overhead? Yeah. I'm gonna switch over to the overhead for you, and then we also have a short little video. So this is the Pi dish with the display on it, and I'm just showing how this is what I'm doing to prototype my projects now. So I've got a nice large breadboard and the cobbler, and I have plenty of space to put projects in, and then it holds the Pi nice solidly. Yeah, and here's a video.
Lately here at Adafruit, we've been going crazy for the Raspberry Pi. This $35 Linux computer sure has a lot of potential, and we've been having a great time bringing you the best accessories. We have the Pi prototyping plate and the cobbler, and we also released a special Getting Started with Raspberry Pi kit that includes all of the goodies, including our acrylic Raspberry Pi box, which you might remember from this video. We even went so far as to make our own Linux distribution, so it's super easy for makers to get started using the Pi right away. And today I want to show you the Raspberry Pi Dish. It's this versatile prototyping plate with a full-size breadboard and special mounting clips so you can put the Raspberry Pi either way, depending on what video output you're going to use. Let me show you how to put it together. Just peel the protective paper from the laser cut acrylic and then position your Pi the way you want it. There are etchings on the acrylic for the RCA port and the audio jack that's easy to line up. And then peel the paper backing off your breadboard and stick that down to this large rectangle. The Raspberry Pi doesn't have any mounting holes, so we've included these special clips. You might want to hold it with pliers in position while you insert the screws. We couldn't forget our famous rubber bumpers that help keep everything steady on the table. You could do your prototyping on the breadboard and then hook up all of your computer peripherals and start up your Pi. I'm running Occidentalist Adafruit's Black Raspberry Linux distribution. We've been making some really fun Raspberry Pi tutorials, so head over to the Adafruit Learning System to go try those out and get your feet wet. And I can't wait to see your Pi project on an upcoming episode of our weekly show and tell on Google Plus on Saturday nights. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to keep zipping along here. We've got GPS antennas.
Yes. So this is an antenna, and I got this specifically for the Ultimate GPS module that we have, which has a UFL connector, and you can use an external antenna. And people were like, well, what external antenna would you suggest? And I was like, we'll have one in the store really shortly. It's an active antenna, so it draws like, you can look at the issue, but like 10 to 25 milliamps, but it gives you like 28 dB of gain. So like, this is like pretty much, if you add this to the Ultimate GPS, it pretty much doesn't matter where you are. If there's any GPS signal at all, you will grab it.
Okay.
And it's magnetic, so you can stick it on top of cars and
Okay.
stuff.
So next up, speaking of GPSs.
Yeah.
What's this?
We've got little miniature Ultimate GPS modules.
Yeah, I'll go to the overhead.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
So we have the Ultimate GPS breakout board, but there's some people who are like, hey, I want to have like my own project which has a really teeny GPS. And this is like the smallest GPS with the most like capabilities. So it's 10 hertz updates. It's got 66 channel tracking. It's got like minus 165 dB sensitivity. It only draws 20 milliamps, so you can power it off of a microcontroller pin. Like an Arduino pin can actually power the whole thing. It has an internal antenna. As you can see, this is a nice thin antenna, but it also can use an external antenna, like the active antenna will automatically switch between the two, which is fantastic. It has pulse per second out. I think it's 100 milliseconds, or maybe it's like 50 millisecond pulse per second after it has fix. So you have to have fix, and then it'll give you pulse per second. It has battery, like external V backup support, so you can have like a battery to keep the internal almanac and the real-time clock. What else does it have? It has a built-in data logging capability that I like so much, so you can store up to like, I think 15 hours of logging data inside automatically, and it'll just log once a second. It can drive a fixed LED. I don't know, it has it all. We've tested it up to 25 kilometers. We had some friends who sent him a balloon, and it kept fixed up to 27 kilometers or so. So we think if you're doing anything up to 25 kilometers, this should be good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's
ultimate.
It sounds ultimate. Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty ultimate.
All right, let's keep moving. We gotta get through these. We might be like a couple minutes over. Hey, look, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Okay, next up.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. We're
back.
Raspberry Pi thing.
Okay.
Okay. So next up, powered hub.
Yeah. So this is a powered hub, and I can show this. I don't have anything powered onto it because I didn't want to actually have something powered. But this is we actually bought a whole bunch of different powered hubs, and this one won by far for being not only the best hub, but also at a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
It's a 7-port hub, and it comes with a 2-amp power adapter. Some of the cheaper ones only came with 1 amp, which I didn't like. It comes with a full 2-amp power adapter, and you can plug it into 240 or 110 volts. You can use it internationally if you have just like a physical plug adapter, and it has the USB cable built in. It comes with a USB extender. And so this is really good for stuff like the BeagleBone and the Raspberry Pi, where you want to have a hub, but one of the problems with the Raspberry Pi is that the fuse for the USB ports are only 140 milliamps. So you can't actually connect like more than like one or two things on an unpowered hub, and it won't even power some Wi-Fi adapters or some USB keys. They draw too much power. So you add this powered hub, and it you know, basically the power comes from the 5-volt adapter, and inside is a single chip that provides all 7 ports. It's USB 2.0, which is good because it can do video. It's high speed.
Yeah, the cheap ones chain them all together, right?
Yeah, the cheap ones have 2 USB 1 hubs, and so like you get 7 ports, but it's like it's not. The computers don't like it. It's very slow, and you can't run like we tried to use our USB microscope on it, for example.
Yeah. So by the way, like I have a really complicated setup on my personal workstation, and it has lots of USB stuff, and it was no hub ever worked before because I have a printer that goes through parallels. I've got multiple HD web cameras.
And they're all powered from the USB.
All
so
powered,
they're like the camera, everything's sucking 500 milliamps, and actually it doesn't work out. So this is really nice. So you'll really you'll be able to get like really good performance.
And works with the Pi.
Works with the Pi. Works with the BeagleBone. Also works with the Mac. Works with Windows. It should work with like all computers pretty much. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Right.
And I really like that it comes with a good 2-amp power adapter, and it's like $23.
Okay. Next up, this is something we're really excited about because we spent a long time and a lot of money trying to find the best way to portably power a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, this is a little mini setup we made. I used the 2.5-inch NTSC displays that we carry, and I powered it because it runs on 5 volts. I powered it off of the Pi, and then powered the Pi off of the battery pack, and then used the wireless keyboard. So a little wireless setup.
So, you know, I don't know. So far, I've only seen tethered Pis, but this is completely wireless Pi.
Yeah, this is a wireless Pi.
And it has a wireless dongle, and it's getting its power from the power pack.
Well, I unplugged the Wi-Fi, but and it's running our sample script, so it's displaying the time, which you can't see very well, but it's running everything. And the really cool thing about this battery pack, can I show them the overhead?
Yeah.
Overhead moment. So first off, it's a really well made power pack. It has this metal thing which it's meant to like hold cell phones and stuff. It has the built-in USBs, so you don't have to have a separate cable to keep it powered in. So this plugs into the back. It's 330 milliamp hours, so it's a really beefy battery, and it has 2 outputs. And this output here is it's called the fast charge output, and it's meant for like iPads and stuff, but it gives you a full amp. A lot of the cheaper battery packs that we tried, I have a box of like 8 battery packs. I tried like every single one available, and they only provide 500 milliamps. And a Raspberry Pi actually wants 700 milliamps. It was actually just enough that it would draw too much power and either set off the fuse, or it would just brown out. It wouldn't run. You couldn't plug it. You couldn't run Wi-Fi at the same time, for example. And this, because it has the 1-amp output, it has a really good boost converter inside. We could run it with like an LCD and the SD card and a Wi-Fi adapter and a keyboard all plugged in. And we did a test where we charged all the way, and we ran the Raspberry Pi with Wi-Fi, and we were pinging the computer every second to make sure it was still alive, and also to keep the Wi-Fi dongle from going into power safe mode. So we wanted to make sure really tested it, and a keyboard. They had a little small keyboard, and it ran for 5.5 hours exactly.
Yeah.
So without Wi-Fi, it might run for like 6 hours or so. But it is a little expensive, and it is kind of a big battery. But the Raspberry Pi is a computer, and it's not. They didn't end up. They sacrificed some of the power efficiency for reducing the price. So for example, instead of a buck converter, there's a linear regulator. So there's like 30 milliamps you lose there. Or 40 milliamps, but I think they had to make a choice, and they decided like, okay, we want to make this low cost, so you do need to have a fairly big battery pack to drive it, but this one runs it for like almost 6 hours, so it's good for portable projects.
And that was new products, got through it, very good. We're in WASP tonight. She'd be proud. Okay, so next up, we're gonna just do a quickie top secret. It's not out yet, don't ask.
Okay.
You can't ask questions about this, everyone. Don't ask questions. It's not out yet, don't ask.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to show? That's not out yet.
Yeah, show the overhead.
Yeah, we're going to do the overhead.
We have bees!
Yeah.
Bees!
These aren't out yet.
We have a full range of XBees we're going to be carrying. We actually put the XBee Pro Series 1 in the store, but we're getting Series 2 XBees, and we're going to get Rob Faluti's awesome book, Building Wireless Sensor Networks, which talks about Series 2. So thanks to the guys at Digi to help us with carrying a full range of XBees so we can provide them. They're expensive, and we want to make sure that we can provide them at a good price. So they gave us a really good deal so that we could carry a larger range of them. So thanks to Digi. Bees. Okay. Enough bees.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do some questions for just a few minutes because we had to get through a lot of stuff. Sorry, folks. Yeah, maybe one day we'll do a 2-hour show. Let's just go this real quick.
I'm not ready for a 2-hour show.
Let's go through this. Are you? Are the XBees getting a lot of buzz? People like
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Bees.
Are we going to carry 3D robotics radios?
I don't know. We're going to expand the XB line. We've had XBees for years. I mean, like we've done a lot of XB stuff, so I thought it made sense to carry them. I really like the XBees. They're really easy. But yeah, I'm always looking at other radios and other options. So we'll definitely be expanding our wireless line. I mean, we've already got this GPS module that's awesome, and hopefully we're going to be carrying a Wi-Fi adapter for the Pi soon, all that good stuff.
Okay, so quick question. Someone said, is this the 3-year anniversary of Ask an Engineer? Basically, yes, but we're probably going to do something next week, kind of waiting on it. But yeah, endish of August is 3 years. We've been doing this for 3 years, a live electronics video show. It's the longest running electronics video show.
You look better than ever, though.
Really? Thanks. I'm
the cat got chilly.
I got this Benjamin Button thing where I'm getting younger over time. The thing is, if you like the show, I'm just going to remind everybody, please text, because it would be really neat to see an open source hardware pioneer, Lady Ada, get Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm biased. I think you should get it, but anyways, everyone, please remember that. And don't forget the code.
It's the same
thing. That's a nice reminder. Okay, we're going to go back.
I know, we had a lot of stuff on the show.
Someone says that Newark Element 14 has a 3-week waiting for Raspberry Pi. Yeah, that might be true. Gert board also is not shipping. It's going to be out mid-September. We haven't played around with it yet. It looks neat.
I have my own plans for what I think would be
the 3-year anniversary for Beagle or Arduino Order. No, the 3-year anniversary is for Ask an Engineer, the show.
The show.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 3 years. Does your N-channel MOSFET ever need a resistor on the gate?
No, MOSFETs do not need resistors on gates. In fact, you should not have a resistor on the gate because you want to push current as fast as possible onto that gate plate.
Okay. Any opinion on the official Arduino Wi-Fi shield?
It's been released, so we should get one and try it out. Check out the latest firmware. But it has been released. Do check out the Arduino Labs webpage about it. It's pretty intense.
Yeah. So someone says October 4th if they ordered a Pi, it ships from them.
Okay.
Now, someone wanted to know the code for the chat.
The code.
The
code is.
Yeah.
171.
Next up, do wires connected to a TMP 36 sensor need to be twisted pair if they're only a few inches long?
You should not twist them.
Yeah.
It's not a differential signal.
Next question, the Arduino Due question mark. I think they want to know when it's out.
You should talk to the Arduino team.
Yeah, we don't know. They don't.
I don't even have one.
Yeah, we don't actually have one. Let's see. Oh, someone's son say you rock, Lady Ada.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, kids really like you.
Yay.
Let's see. I think that is. Oh, someone said they went to the Upburger Hackathon. It was great. Thanks for the post. Yeah,
okay,
we posted it up. Someone says open hardware license with attribution. You might need to put a little bit more text there because I don't know what the answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Open hardware license with attribution.
You should use the W's. What?
Yeah.
Why? When?
Yeah,
where,
I'll hang here
who?
for 1 second if you want to retype it. But
How is not really starts with a W, but it has a W at the end.
Yeah. Oh, can you suggest one? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We like the CERN license right now.
Yeah, CERN license.
CERN license is great. Let me just go through quick. Most people who do open source hardware use Creative Commons because that's all we had.
Actually, I tend to use it.
Yeah. And most of it is Creative Commons share alike attribution. For a few years, there really wasn't anything out there. It was Tapper, but it's kind of like an older license. And then CERN came along, and CERN did an excellent job. I really like it. We're probably going to put our stuff under the CERN license.
Mm-hmm.
It follows the open hardware definition, which is more about like what it's about. And then the CERN license says, here's what you have to do. Mm-hmm. And we like it. We put our Pi plate under the CERN license. Robot Girl put her robot brain thing under CERN license. And I'm seeing CERN license stuff come up more and more. I think this is the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's it. Next up. Let's see. Next up. Research Hardware has a manifest that you could probably use as a license. Yeah. Great hour, maker can't play. But what would an LED be able to power by holding it to a lamp like you did in the video? Could it power anything?
A couple LEDs together could, they could power a very, very, very small sensor. I mean, it is possible. I mean, any PN junction is, you can turn it into a solar cell. Not a very good one, but it does work. But people do use back-biased LEDs as sensors.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do the question. Someone said, "What's that shirt, by the way?"
This is an Adafruit shirt.
Yeah. We have a policy that we don't like to do swag and put our label and logo all over everything.
We did make one T-shirt for me.
We have a T-shirt for you. But we'll have some cool stuff that's Adafruit design, and it'll have a very subtle logo. We don't believe putting the logo in big places. It makes it not as special. So when we put our logo on something like our circuit boards that we have, it's very special. So that's what we do. Okay.
You want to get a cat, and I can show you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the trivia question.
Oh, right.
Why don't you grab MOSFET?
Okay.
We can, divide and conquer here. Okay, it's trivia question time. I'll do the rules for the trivia question because Lady is gonna get MOSFET. The rules are: if you've won before, please don't enter. If you're friends of ours, and a lot of you are, please don't answer. Oh, what's the code? Can someone post the code up? Actually, I will. We'll just have to see half a fill for a second. Oh, great! Thank you for the person who did. So, anyways, those are the rules. The first person who posts in the chat for this will be able to win a prize. The prize tonight is my favorite board right now, is the Leonardo. You're gonna get one of these. Super cool board, good price, like a lot.
Can MOSFET enter?
MOSFET cannot enter.
Oh, you have to be human to enter?
Yeah, no, but he's a friend of the show and actually
that's
here.
true.
He could cheat because he could see what's on my screen.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
No, now
so
you can't.
are you ready? Here's a trivia question. If you voted over text, what is the name of the company that has the URL of the text you get back when you voted? And if you want to do it right now, you could cast your vote right now and text.
You'll probably find out in like 10 seconds.
And you'll see the name of the company who's handling the voting.
Maybe I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah, pull out your phone.
Yeah, now everyone's like, oh man!
Oh, maybe now I should vote.
Now I should vote.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Grook. Guess what, Grook? You got it.
What company is it?
It's Poll Everywhere.
Poll Everywhere.
And let me tell you, one of the things I like about what they did is they said, thanks for the vote. You chose established entrepreneur, Lamore Freed, powered by Poll Everywhere. We notice this is your first time participating. FYI, your phone number is completely private and will never spam you.
That's nice.
Right? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Because you know what? When you do stuff on Facebook, and I think that was the apprehension, it's like, congratulations.
Yeah.
Everything you do is now posted to everyone. We're advertising your face on our face. It's like, that's crazy. So, send a note to support at adafruit.com and you will win Leonardo.
Ooh, and MOSFET's interested.
Yeah.
He's like, what is that?
Leonardo. And now it's time for a cat. Hey, little cat. Oh, he's purring.
Yeah, he's happy.
That's always nice. All right, Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat, say hello to your public. Oh, you know what? Let me get wide cat screen here. We don't want
Wide cat vision?
Yeah, we want to be able to see the cat here. Here you go, Mr. MOSFET. Sometimes he meows for the camera.
He meowed when I picked him up.
Want to meow? Any meows for everybody? A little meow. All right.
Well, I can show my
That's
my
the cat.
thing. Got an IP address.
Oh, okay.
So let me hold this up. So I've got my wireless.
Don't you want to show it through the
Oh,
overhead?
I can show it on the overhead. Yeah, I got my wireless.
Yeah.
Set up here. And yeah, I've got my Pi dish. It's all powered from the battery pack. I've got my Wi-Fi dongle, which we're beta testing. We're going to have this Wi-Fi dongle for the Pi. And then we have... oh, can you make it bigger so I can see if the text is visible?
Oh, you want to...
Yeah, because I have to see it.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, you can see
you
that.
can see it. Yeah, so the time is August 18th, 11:03. I set the time zone, and then the IP address is 192.168.0.66.
Quick question. Someone wants to know, do we sell wireless dongles for the Pi?
We will soon. We're still we're finishing up the beta testing, and we're waiting for order to come in, and we will have this great Wi-Fi dongle that works fantastically.
We'll have the best one. Okay. Real quick, thank you everyone for making the last 3 years fantastic. We're going to try to do a special show.
Oh man.
We're gonna
do like a year in review, like the Christmas special.
I don't think so. I'm all about looking forward. But we'll have some fun stuff, and there will be some really big changes, good improvements in the Adafruit show, the Adafruit location, Ask an Engineer show, and tell all sorts of
everything's
cool
changing soon.
things are ahead.
We're gonna throw you onto an island.
I don't like that one, but I think I know that everyone's gonna love that we have the stuff that we're gonna show soon.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really neat. So everyone,
we never disappoint.
yeah, thanks,
I don't
Becky, George, Paint Your Dragon, Kevin, everyone who showed up. John Jr. is not here. Maybe you'll see it later.
MOSFET. The cat.
Yeah, MOSFET the cat. You know, we always thank him. Thanks for everyone who came to the show and tell. And as always, thank you for supporting Adafruit. Please, 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 please vote for Lady Ada. It'd be so weird to have this cool pink-haired girl engineer with the lip ring and helping people around the world mixed up with all these business people. That'd be cool. That's how we can do stuff. All right.
If you're not going to vote for me, you should vote for fair trade.
That's fair. That's very nice of you. Okay, and with that, here is, we'll see everybody next week, your moment of Zener. Zener song. No Zener song.
Zener song.
Yeah, there's no Zener song. And we will play some music.